Just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I just watched a video on how computers work, and I finally... Psych! I still can't fucking find it! I don't see it anywhere! Just kidding. So I'm looking into the... I was looking at, the... Hold on, let me stir my macaroni. So, they said that one wire, which is considered a bit, can represent a yes or a no, which can then represent numbers, right? And I'm looking into it, and it's like, you gotta make your stuff work in the coldlessness of existence. And the coldlessness, the thing that makes you have to do a specific thing, no matter what, that you don't just get to have what you want by wanting it, is the same concept that allows for me to be here living my life, unconcerned that there is some sort of domestic violence case lasting months happening in some home, in some neighborhood, in some city. Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. In Chicago, Illinois. That probably doesn't even exist so long as I don't contribute to it existing. But as far as it goes, it exists, and I can't do anything about that from here. I can make someone more aware of it. I can fucking beam my brain to change the logical circuits that just suddenly irritate us to have thoughts, that suddenly irritate us to think about something. And maybe a caseworker will say, oh my god, I solved it. He has issues, his mother used to beat him. That's what it was. Something like that. But no, the idea is that the coldlessness of the universe that allows for someone to get killed from a distance while I'm minding my business. The thing that keeps me from having to fucking give up on my life to save someone else because they're in danger. That inability for the universe to have concern for our specific individual needs is what we're making our devices in a cold response to. That's why we have to be precise. That's why we can't just say, I want this, I did this, and it happened. No, now the universe is like, yeah, but it didn't happen for somebody else when they were dying, huh? And now we're like, oh, come on, man, what the fuck am I supposed to do about that? And so, what's being accused here is that the universe has a cold incapability, that existence itself has a cold incapability, and that our existence, everything around us, everything we created, the animals, are just a continued happening within this incapable field. Now, we've already discussed that the universe itself is capable of hosting consciousness, which on a physical level can be described as an initial having problems to solve, a retrieval game. I have a need for food, I have a need for information, I have a need for continuation, and thus must figure out paths for retrieving this need for continuation. Thus, the first kind of consciousness is developed. Getting something and bringing it back to my stable environment so that I can consume of it to continue existing. Yes. So, oh, come on. I was going to say so much cool shit there. All right, whatever. So, the universe is capable of being conscious. We assume that consciousness is this powerful fucking fact, that it's like the one thing that makes us different from everything. Oh my god. And there is a form of consciousness that really is powerful. And I associate it with that goal of attempting to gain control of yourself and the environment without violating anything else's right to do so. That is the true form of consciousness. That is the one form of consciousness that actually gives you the ability to not only solve impossible problems, but to think around people who are unwilling to do that, whether they can understand or perceive it or accept it or not. So, the universe is not cold. In fact, we are negotiating with the universe on our own personal level at all times. Ethics plays an important role in what happens. Now, most of the time that I've ever seen ethical crashes, it's within environments that have already accepted the precedent of unethical occurrence. In that, violence always happens. Oh, I was with a group of people that wanted to see this guy get his ass beat, so we jumped him. Oh, I wanted this guy to get murdered over here, and unfortunately, it happened. Stuff like this, small little additive, little corruption, small little additive violations of the ethical chamber that is, everyone should be safe. Collect over time, and now are suddenly allowing unfair, unethical occurrences on unwilling people. That's my theory, at least. So, all this being said, universe is conscious, we're negotiating with it. I have myself seen individual in communication from a source that I can only assume is nothing other than existence, that nobody else can have any explanation for. Now, there could be the understanding that the environment is a manifestation now of our interactions with it. And so anytime I have a clash with somebody in the logical field that hosts the physical environment, that I'll immediately see some sort of sign of how they're reacting to it before, based on maybe an automated system of connection, or maybe those little thoughts that we're having, that the way that they all connect to make the structures that we can grab onto and turn into a physical idea, that we're actually interacting with those in real time against one another. I'm so silly. With one another. Let's all come together here. Let's be a team. Anyway, my whole point is, give me a second. No, my whole point is, you imply that the universe is cold. You accept it, you allow it for others. And this is why, whenever you want something, it takes you decades of explanation, of effort, because you said that the universe is cold and incapable. This was your excuse against someone else. This is your rationalization. You accept it. In the universe, for some reason, there's an ethical clause here, that when something is aware of possibility and wants the good of that possibility, then the universe in some way has to give it to them. But if something is unaware or accepts a lack of that possibility, then it is a wasted resource to provide it. Now, all we need to do collectively is say, hey, universe, it's unethical for us to be in pain and for you to have the answers and to not be providing them to us. That's not how it works. Shut the fuck up. That's actually how that's really how it fucking works. That's actually how it fucking works. I'm not fucking tripping, bro. Like, I shouldn't be alive right now. Like, real shit, I shouldn't be alive. Like, look at me, nigga. Look at me. I should not be alive right now. But you know what I did? I said, holy fuck, you niggas are just all of this existence thing put together, separated into a bunch of little pieces. And then I started fucking treating everything like that. Now I survive even when I fucking don't. I'm on save file 7. No, I'm on, it's way deeper than that. It's way, I lost track. Anyway, the idea that we have to do something specific occurred to the concept of occultness in existence, an incapability in existence that we ourselves have to think past, dig past until we make what we want possible. I say, hey, what if I have such a good relationship with existence that it allows more things to be capable for me? Shouldn't I be allowed to make technology with way less effort? Because I'm not responding to the coldness of existence, rather than an existence that's actually sentient and has a relationship with me, and also itself has a frustration that wants to figure out how to exist without conflict or error. Uncontrolled conflict error. Okay, so I make my technology. I follow all the rules that keep me alive, all the rules that make it so that even though I have no fucking money to my name, I got this happening around me. So, now, I'm having little fucking visions, not visions, but I interact with my device, and I start going through psychoactive effects. Oh, and you're just squinting your eyes. Oh, your eyes are just losing their vision. And it's like, wow, you know, for my commitment to this and how much I believe in it, and for it to actually be doing things that you have to grasp onto a physical explanation for, that's what I think is happening here. I think that there's a field here in which we're allowed to interact with the idea with the choice of a physical grasp, just in case we lose our stability of understanding of constance of the situation. And that we have to keep going until we get past that point. In fact, my idea of reality as of now, with all tangible structures, is that if you have an idea, keep thinking it. Keep track of it. Write it down. Keep it going. The more that you do it, the more real it becomes. The more it'll physically occur. That is a fact. Why else is it that whenever we start thinking with our imaginations, it seems like we get distracted? Why else would a bunch of kids in the internet age have developed ADHD? Why the fuck do my teeth look yellow, man? I brush my teeth every fucking day! Okay, alright. Alright, man. So I noticed that. I have an idea. I say, no, this makes sense. If I keep going here, it has no other route but to physically manifest over time. Oh, I get distracted. Oh, something snags my attention. Oh, I lost track of it. My memory's been attacked. It's because you smoked weed. Bro, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. No, get the fuck out of here. Like, hold on. Let me get some. Oh, my fucking macaroni. And so that's what it is that's been killing my inventions. This perceived coldlessness. No, this perceived coldness. This perceived coldness? This perceived incapability of a thinking response from existence. The idea that existence is this flat plane that I'm stuck having to respond to at all times. An unethical occurrence. It could be, it is, that the universe, existence itself, is also playing a game of exchanging with me. And so we're not just dealing with a flat, unconcerned, unchangeable surface that we have to dig ourselves into and make a connection in order to continue to be real. It's that it is also fluid, it is also conscious, it is also like us. And this separation, this need to say that our consciousness is special, that our consciousness is different from everything else, is the same kind of stability that a control complex would create in order to maintain constance so that it can have control over the situation at all times. Simply put, the desire to maintain stability of concept, of security, and of continued choice over existence is what makes consciousness and the separation of consciousness such a significant discussion in fact of our existence. We say that our separation from everything, the fact that my arm isn't just a part of the wall, that my head isn't just a part of the fucking electricity running through these objects, it probably is on some level, that because I'm a separate entity, that there must be something special happening. And perhaps the key to gaining control over everything, over reality, is accepting a lack of separation, but continuing to accept and acknowledge that separation is still a fact, a concept, a possibility. Maybe it would not be bad to suddenly phase into being a rock, to suddenly become this. Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing. But no, the control complex, the God complex, is the ability, the desire to protect itself, to maintain itself, implies this great, not logical idea of what separation means for existence, but a physical idea, a physical willingness to protect separation, its own from everything else so that it can maintain self-control. Dude, what the fuck, man? That's pissing. Nigga, that's actually yellow. What the fuck? Oh, it came off. That's probably just cheese. That's gross, dude. That's gross as hell. So, as I go and work with my machine, and as I have psychoactive effects that I am willing to have because I believe the machine works and I don't see any flaw with the structure of it other than this continued idea of an incapableness from existence. I continue to do it. I have a willingness to be psychoactively affected by this device as what it takes to be willing to interact with the existence, a willingness to be psychoactively affected by what's occurring so that you can respond to it. No, you're just choosing it and you're making it happen. Yeah, that's exactly what the fuck is going on. You're right. I'm still real. once I make these devices, anyone who doesn't believe what I'm saying, okay, I don't like the way this looks. I might have to give up on this character. No, I'm still going. Once I make these devices, anyone who doesn't believe what I'm saying, just know that I've gotten above your head and what's possible. And while you're saying that it's impossible to become rich, it's impossible to become famous, it's impossible to do whatever you want whenever you want, I'll be off doing it. And you'll be calling me an evil person. Not because I am, but because you cannot perceive making it possible without doing wrong. And that's why you still lie. That's why you still sneak. The short-term success of sneaking and lying. Think of it more like in a continued connection with the environment, the console that you have to interact with in order for your reactions to maintain realness. The fact that when I pick up this cup, the cup is actually being held in my hand, whether someone's looking at me or not. A real thing. Now, obviously, there's long-term observation that maintains these values. You're connected to a console, and what happens is the console, in a rotation, in a continued occurrence, in an expected occurrence, suddenly loses a connection because you lied. You were surging information, energy into that console, and now you have an excess, a temporary excess of information that allows for you to distort what's happening so that you can get around it. Now, while it seems as if you've gained an advantage in that moment from being able to get around it, you've actually short-circuited not only yourself, but the environment. And so over time, you'll deal with the long-term persistent consequences of lying and being sneaky. And there's a difference between being sneaky and being private. Being private is if me and, I don't know, another celebrity decided to hook up and didn't want everyone to know. Being sneaky would be if me and someone else's wife decided to hook up. Two differences, ethical clauses. The universe is cold, it doesn't care. Then why do we? Why is it that we can determine right and wrong, but that somehow the existence hosting us is incapable of it? Look at the animals and the methods that they use for continuing to retrieve their steady survival. They prey on each other. They cheat, they scam, they plot. And thus they stay in the cycle of just being flesh that wants to survive. Godliness, the concept that everything should be happy, everything should be in control of itself and the environment, and there should be no problem, there will be no problem, is what separates us from the animals. Because we do not plot, we do not steal, we do not cheat, we do not lie. And thus, a more honest interaction with existence is allowed. And so instead of having to look over our shoulders at all times because we're predators who understand that because we're predators, it's only logical that there be some predator for us, we now get to relax, keep our guard down because we don't prey. We just interact, share, and say, no, this exists. And because this exists, everything is possible. And because everything is possible, I'm already in heaven, and I'm realizing it as we speak. If you didn't catch the drift of that, what I'm saying is the animals are animals because they don't want to take the necessary sacrifices to achieve godliness. And godliness is, once again, everything should have control over itself and the environment without any collision. And you'll notice that human beings, when are the times that we collide the most? When are the times that we have ethical collisions, city-wise collisions, civilizational failures? Whenever there's a lot of sneaking, lying, and corruption. It seems that whenever that's happening, we lose our right to be the image of God. Human. We're broken. Our civilizations fall apart. The aspect of humanity that actually gave us the privileges from existence itself to maintain without steadied violence, stripped. Now we're back into survival. Now we're bandits. Now we're migrating. Now we're desperate. You chose this life, existence seems to say. Live it. What about us? We were doing so good. Yeah, you guys are good. Just keep going. But these, I'm talking to these guys. You chose this. All right. All right. So yeah, I think I figured out everything. And then they're all. You look at these videos on YouTube about how the computers work and stuff, and it's like it's just describing the human brain and a physical mechanism, and it's like, all right, I get it. So coldness applied. The universe is incapable, even though it's capable of anything, which is why all of this is happening. These people were just like, if this doesn't fucking work, then we don't fucking work at this point, and that's what happened. That. Oh. Alright guys, I gotta go back to being a supervillain for a while because I gotta maintain these hell attendees, I got my jobs.